be great because on mine it wasn't. It must have disappeared during the co-hosting. Good morning. My name is Jamie Camerata. I'm a team leader out of the Andover Market Center in Massachusetts. I appreciate your time today. We do have two co-hosts, so I will let Teresa introduce herself, and after Teresa, I will let Kevin come in and introduce himself.
Good morning, everybody. So excited to see you here today, and you're going to get some great information. I myself am out of a Greater Portland, Maine Market Center, and I have been with Keller Williams since 2014, started in on the leadership team, and then jumped to do real estate for 3 years, and now I'm back on the leadership team as a market center tech trainer. That is a newer position for me, so I am still learning, but I'm here to answer any questions if you guys have anything. Okay,
Kevin, what I heard was market center tech trainer. For those of you who are still joining as well, I love what Teresa said about all the different positions. Here at Keller Williams, you're always growing and evolving. It's one of the best things. It's who you become at Keller Williams, right? So you're always evolving into different roles. And so right now you might be in this role of productivity coach or market center tech trainer, team leader, an agent, and it will change. It will change. And so I love that. So Kevin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, thank you, Jamie. My name is Kevin Harris. I am 11 years full-time with Keller Williams the whole time. And earlier this year, we transformed our productivity coaching program in our, Keller Williams Legacy Partners in Central Connecticut. We do have 8 business centers or 8 locations total with one market center. So it's a little bit different because we're spread out. So we have 3 productivity coaches, which I am one of those 3, and I'm here to serve. Love what I do and love to be a part of it.
I love it. Yes, we got from Maine to Connecticut, Massachusetts. Do we have anybody in the chat from Vermont? We're gonna have the whole New England region here, Rhode Island. So my name's Jamie Camerata. Like I said, I have been a team leader since 2013. And before that, I was a real estate agent for a few years. I own a couple of restaurants in my own town, very entrepreneurial, have 3 kids. And I absolutely love coaching, consulting, and training. I was a school teacher in my prior life here before I got into real estate. And so I love that this company has been able to bridge both my passion for helping people and then leading and teaching and aiding people in this role. So if you have any questions, please let me know. During our break, which I will give you in between, I will put my contact information and my email in the chat. If you ever have any questions, just like Kevin said, we're here to help you and serve. And so if there's anything that you ever need, you can text, you can email, because every market center is busy, and that's great. It's productive busy. And so if you need us for anything, we want to be there. Okay, so let's move on to our stuff here. So today we are going to be talking about defining your value proposition. Like I mentioned at the beginning, if you just joined us, I'd like to play full on. So you have committed thus far to yourself, right? To learning all of this valuable information. And in my opinion, in the best time ever, because the fall is where it's back to school, it's back to foundations, it's back to learning, and you're basically ending your Q4 or your 4th quarter and getting ready for 2023, believe it or not. And I'm not trying to rush people. I know in the grocery stores, we see everything from Hanukkah, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Halloween all at once, which is scary. But this is what we're doing. And so we're trying to build our goals for there. So defining your value proposition obviously is extremely important, because you need to know and be able to express to your buyers, your sellers, your clients, your sphere, why would they want to use you and what value would you add in the process? Okay, so we mentioned at the first segment of the real estate agent of choice would conclude with an action plan. And so part of your action plan is to design your value proposition, which I'm hoping that we are going to do together today. We'll also discuss how to define your proposition by uncovering what makes you uniquely qualified to meet your customers' needs. And so knowing this, you'll create the value proposition, you'll practice it, and you'll begin to use it in conversations with potential clients. So before we begin, I know that many of you have already jumped into previous Ignite sessions. And so I'd like to follow up and hear from a couple of you about the success system and how it's been working. How have your calls been going? How have your cards that you've been writing, your social media posts? Would there be one, two, or maybe three of you, not all at once? Raise your hand if you want. That's probably the most easiest since this is being recorded and Teresa can call on you. But can you just share a little bit so far, about a week in, how your calls and lead generating is going? No one's lead generating? Stop it. All right, Ashley.
Hi, sorry, I'm just turning on my camera. It's gonna be a little chaotic here. I've got my toddler home, so for distracting reasons, I might be turning it off to handle things.
That's okay.
But so I have been really active on social media. I'm new to New England. I'm from New Mexico. So I don't have that sphere of influence like a lot of people do, people from high school. So I'm having to get creative with it. So I've been very active on social media. And something that I've learned so far is to kind of meet people where they're at. And I've been dealing with a lot of millennials, and we don't like talking on the phone. We like texting, we like messaging. So I decided to kind of run with that. And, I've created some polls on social media, who's dabbling or who wants to eventually now or in the next 5-10 years, even eventually own a home, and starting the conversations there. And just this past week with the activities that I've gotten done with Ignite, I've gotten 3 referrals from 3 different states that, just from conversations that I've been having on social media. So there's that kind of lead generation, conversations are happening. It's getting me out of my comfort zone. And, I'm learning with the questions that they have, because they ask me something. I'm like, I don't know, let me find out. And then I learn something new, and then I'm able to transcribe it to them. So that's it's actually been an unexpected little success that I wasn't.
That's fantastic. Now, out of all of the conversations that you have you had anybody raise their hand and say, I might be interested maybe in the spring to buy or sell?
No one says specifically spring. A lot of objections that I've been getting is we want, the market's going to crash. We're waiting for interest rates to lower. Other things are, we are working on our credit score, just something that we're working towards, and something that I've been really telling everybody that I'm talking to, like, if this is a goal, it's not unattainable. You start working on it now. Like, let's get you in contact with a loan officer, because it's never too early to start getting your ducks in a row, even if the credit score isn't where you're at, even if you're not in a place in the state that you want to live in. Like, it's never too early to start. So again, nobody's specifically saying spring, but I don't want to say I'm pushing for that, but I'm also making it known that that the market is changing, and that we shouldn't necessarily 100% try to predict it. Nobody can really predict it. You do what's best for you right now or in the spring.
Right. I mean, the most important thing that I'm taking out of all of this too is you can't be a secret agent. Everybody in your sphere and in your family and on social media and any emails that are associated with you, you have to go out there and let them know what you're doing. You can help them buy, sell, invest, and rent in real estate, and not be a secret agent. Otherwise, all of these people that are in your life, they want to help and support you, by the way. And we're going to talk about help and support and the differences later during our lead generating activity. But they do want to help and support you. And they can't do that unless you let them know exactly how you can do that. So thank you for participating and sharing. Can I get one more person on how it's going with the calls or the social media posts? Just one. So we're, okay, William, William, go ahead.
Okay, this is specific to Connecticut,
Okay,
but every agent in Connecticut should be aware of the Time to Own program, which is a state program that gives forgivable down payment assistance to first-time home buyers. Post it on your social media, bring it up in every conversation you have with someone who doesn't already own a home. The program gives below market interest rates, and if they stay in the home, if they stay in the home for 10 years, they don't have to pay the down payment assistance back. So it's free money.
excellent. So you're having some good conversations and interaction with social media.
That's
folks?
my pitch that I give to everyone I talk to who doesn't already have a home.
That's great.
On the phone, in person, and on social media.
Excellent. All right, well, keep going, because as you know, with our success, you want to make sure that you're reaching out to 10 people a day by note cards, phone calls, posts, social media. And honestly, we'll be doing that towards the end when we implement and do our lead generating. So today with value proposition, we're going to define the meaning of what exactly is a value proposition. We're going to explain the benefits of creating a personalized value proposition, because remember, it has to define and be about you. You can't just take somebody else's value proposition, because that might not be the value that you bring to the table. And then we need to describe what buyers and sellers value the most in real estate, because what buyers need for your value proposition is very different most times than what the seller needs. So do we have any questions yet as to what we're going to be doing and how this is going to work, or anything that you would like to dig deep before we get started? Excellent. Okay, so let's see. I don't know why this isn't working here. All right, so understanding what a value proposition is, knowing what skills and strengths that you bring to the table is what will give you confidence in running and growing your business. And so therefore, it is important to know how to express your value when interacting with your clients and your potential clients. So let's talk more about your value proposition. It's a unique, memorable, and persuasive statement that expresses the true value of working with you. So I'm going to say that again. So a value proposition is a unique, memorable, and persuasive statement that expresses the true value of working with you. It addresses the specifics and special needs of the buyers and or the sellers in your market. It also states what you will do for your clients to earn your commission, and it holds you accountable to high standards. So remember, one of our beliefs in the Y4C2Ts is commitment, right? So commitment in all things. The value proposition ultimately is a promise to fulfill your client's needs. So what are other examples of how value propositions can align with our Y4C2Ts? And for a moment here, let's talk about the Y4C2Ts. So what am I talking about when I talk about the Y4C2Ts? What is W? What is the W?
Win or no deal.
Exactly. Okay. Now, if you don't know what our Y4C2Ts are, I really suggest you looking them up, talking to your team leader. But these are our values. So we have our missions for Keller Williams. We have our values, our vision, and this is our belief system, the Y4C2Ts, right? So win-win or no deal. Integrity, do the right thing. We all want to do the right thing, I would hope, especially when it comes to real estate transactions and you have a fiduciary responsibility. Customers always come first. So that customer experience, customers always come first, okay? Not your commission, and we'll talk about that. Commitment in all things. So today you are committed to this training, defining your value proposition. I want you to leave inspired. I want you to leave with a couple of sentences that reflect and show your value on when working with buyers and sellers. start to understand that like elevator pitch of like, if somebody said, why would I work with you? You're going to explain your values very fluently. Communication. So seek first to understand. A lot of us in communication, we are not coming from a curiosity point of view, are we? Sometimes we're really coming from statements instead of asking questions, to seek to understand. Creativity, so ideas before results. Teamwork is part of our Y4C2Ts. Trust starts with honesty. And then we go on to opportunities for all and success. And so when we're talking about these things, we want to make sure that we embrace and embody these into our value propositions. So let's look at this quote from the Mrea together. Why is it important to define your value proposition? So here's the quote. Top agents can easily explain what services they will provide to anyone who hires them. Why do you think that that is important to the consumer? Think about the last time that you have had a friend, or you go into a store and you really want to have some information, and you get to your friend who's either a business owner of something, or you go into the department store and you're looking for the answer and they don't know the information. And they're stuttering and they just don't know. They can't eloquently just say exactly what you're looking for. So with buyers and sellers, they're looking to you for a reason. Not only have you been trained in real estate, but you've also been trained in all of the legalities, fiduciary responsibilities, and you have access to things that they don't. They just don't know it yet. Was there a question?
I was going to say, just to make them feel comfortable to work with you.
Yes. Yes. This is a relationship. Okay. They're going to entrust you with one of the most important financial transactions of their life. So they want to make sure that compatibility works, you're knowledgeable, you're approachable, and that you effectively communicate in a way that they need to hear it. Perfect. So having a value proposition in your business helps your clients understand your value and expertise. Not everyone knows why they should hire an agent for their real estate needs. We think that they do, but not everybody has been educated through that process. Transactional wise and paper wise, not much has changed in all these years, except a purchase and sale now isn't 150 pages. It's like 25 pages, and a lot of things can be done electronically. Okay, but not everybody knows exactly why they should hire an agent, because the real estate industry has changed so much. We have iBuyer, we have Redfin, for sale by owners, and everybody thinks that they can do it. So they have to be taught and educated by you on why it's important, on why they might need you. So sharing your value proposition with your potential clients provides them an opportunity to see how working with you can make their real estate experience better. Protect your commission. So your value proposition helps you stand out from the competition, and it helps your clients understand what they're paying for. Now, you're going to be learning throughout this process in more detail. How does compensation work? You know, what does my agreement look like? How do I get somebody to sign a contract? That's not what we're doing today. But building a value proposition explains to the consumer not just why they need you, but potentially why they're going to be paying you for this service. And it helps build strong and trusting relationships. So your value proposition is your promise to your client. And by keeping your word when you're working with your client, you actually earn their trust. And so clients who trust you obviously are more likely to hire you again in the future and refer you to their friends and their family. And that's why when we do our lead generating exercise later, you shouldn't be afraid to let your friends and family and people that you're associated with on social media know that you have a real estate license and that you would love to help them buy, sell, invest, and rentals and real estate. And there's nothing worse, and chime in, Kevin and Teresa, in your experiences too, when coaching agents who are just getting in the industry. For the most part, they want to call everybody else but their sphere, their friends, and their family. And it kills me, because if I challenged all of you right now to take your phone and go to contacts, and after you hit the word contacts, scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a number at the bottom of all of those contacts. So if those people are taking space in your phone, with all due respect, since phone plans are all over the place, unlimited, this, that, but let's talk about how big your phone size is. You're going to be moving to the most expensive phone for gigabytes, because all of this space is being used. And if it's in the contact section, why would they be occupying space if you're afraid to have a conversation about something that you're passionate about and that you really want to help them and that you have the knowledge to do so? Teresa, Kevin, what do you think about that?
Yeah. So I, as a productivity coach, that's one of the biggest struggles that we're dealing with new agents, is they set all these limiting beliefs in their minds about me being new. My friends will know that. They know that I haven't sold any houses yet. To dispel a lot of that, the thought process of touching base with your database isn't necessarily that they are going to need to buy or sell tomorrow or next month. But how horrible would you feel if your best friend from high school's parents sold their house with someone else because they didn't know that you were an agent? Or just really getting the word out to them and promoting yourself and letting them know, because, hey, look, it might be 3 to 5 years, but you're planting that seed today by making the contact. One other thing I just wanted to throw in with the unique value proposition, that was something I personally struggled with early on, but I reframed it into something where I could tell myself that, look, why would somebody want to do business with me, and how do I set myself apart from others in the business? I can't tell them, well, I hire a professional photographer and I pay for it. Is that really a unique value proposition when half of the area does that? Well, no. So you kind of look at yourself and look at what aligns with your values, because people will want to work with people that have similar beliefs and values. And that's ultimately one quote from Mega Camp I'm going to throw in here is, and this relates to your clients or potential clients as you're having conversations, is that if your values are clear, making decisions is very easy. There's no question to it. So when you pitch your values as part of your proposition to them, what you do with your business, if it's in alignment with those people, you'll mesh right away.
Yeah, clarity is power, right? And so it's interesting, Kevin, because you keep using the word unique value proposition. And so this is my honest opinion. When you can break it down so specific to you, that is your unique value proposition. Today, we're going to help you build general value propositions. And Kevin is right. Your uniqueness has to align with your values. And that is why they're hiring you. And so we are going to challenge you later during the lead generating activity. I'm going to give you some scripts. They're natural scripts. They're interactive scripts to engage friends and family members, to potentially just know all you're doing is adding value. You're just kind of raising your hand saying, hey, listen, and you don't have to say I got my real estate license yesterday. You don't have to say that. I got my real estate license in 2022. I'm super excited. I partnered up with Keller Williams. I'm having a great time. I set some business goals for myself. So I have to ask you, do you have anything to sell, or are you looking to buy in 2022? All right. And so we're going to get into that. But I love, Kevin, how you said unique value proposition, because here at Keller Williams, we have our mission and we have our values, and our values are unique to our company, are they not? God, family, then business. Okay. Our value here at Keller Williams is real estate is a local service business driven by individual real estate agents and their local image with their centers of influence and client base. Our associates should be tested like stakeholders. Profit matters. Stakeholder companies always measure profit or loss. Open the books, they tell the truth. Who you're in business with matters. No transaction is worth our reputation. And so everything is built unique to who you are. So let's check this out. Other companies obviously have value propositions. I definitely challenge you. In the last 3 years, value proposition has been talked about a lot. And I think it's because, during COVID and a lot of businesses having to shut down or be reinvented, okay, repackaged, they had to get very clear and have clarity in why would you go to this burger place versus this burger place? Why would you go to this hair salon versus this barbershop? And so why would you buy this phone versus that phone? So value proposition, here's some examples that we should be able to relate to. So check out Airbnb. So Airbnb exists to create a world where everyone can belong anywhere, providing healthy travel that is local, authentic, diverse, inclusive, and sustainable. So ideally, is that the concept of an Airbnb? I mean, most likely Walmart. All right, Walmart, everyday low prices for a broad range of goods that are always in stock. Okay, I'm going to challenge that right now. I'm just going to throw that out there for some laughable sake here. So they would like to have it in stock. It's not their control. In convenient geographic locations. Simple, to the point, gets a little bit of their value across. Slack. Okay, so Slack came about a couple of years ago. It's a platform. It makes it downright, you have to download it, downright pleasant to work together. Slack is a team building environment. QuickBooks. Send invoices in minutes and get paid 2 days faster. Pretty simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. So when we're thinking about how to define your value proposition, and after looking at these, typically if we were in a classroom setting, we would break up into groups. So we're not going to do that. But I am, with 46 people on the call, going to ask for a little bit of participation. I'd like for you to open up your participation guide. If you don't have it, that's cool, that's okay. But we are going to brainstorm a little bit before we start defining together what makes these examples successful. So when you look at these examples, and we said what a value proposition is, the unique statement that's very detail oriented, that delivers and explains what you're going to provide in the timely fashion at which you will provide the service. What makes these value propositions successful?
I think feeling that when you're looking for a specific feature, that you will definitely find it in this place. For example, Walmart, that's the one that got my attention. Like when I buy my kids' school supplies, I will go to Walmart. I won't think of going anywhere else because I know that I will find the same brands for definitely the lowest price. So if you're really looking for the lowest price, this is the place to go to.
I love that. So along with unique value propositions, by the way, when you think of a Walmart, I always think of the signs that say low price, lower prices, price just right, can't be beat. They'll actually match any price that you find somewhere else. Now, I will say it's interesting, and this is just like a little side note, the effort at which you need to print out and prove and bring it into Walmart and go through that effort. A lot of people don't do that. But the fact is, it's association, right? So with Walmart, me too. All my kids' school supplies, I don't think about anybody else. I know they're going to be overstocked. There's 4 aisles worth of notebooks and everything else that you need. And the price is going to be right. I'm in and out of there quickly. And they have every single thing. And I feel like, it's not breaking my piggy bank. Let's look at State Farm, here to help life go right. What about that one?
Makes it sound easy, convenient.
Convenient. It's like a slogan, right?
Can
It's
I
like,
make a quick point? I'm sorry, Jamie. I
Yeah.
don't have a hand raise feature on my screen. Hey, I wanted to make just a quick suggestion for those of you that this is a new concept to, is think about Nordstrom and then think about Walmart. Okay. And if you don't know Nordstrom, they're really big on the West Coast, especially, but they're scattered around New England. When you're creating your unique value proposition, are you looking to create an appearance of value like Walmart? There's no question that their value proposition yells value, right? But when you look at someone like Nordstrom, it's more about the relationship than it is about value. In fact, the first thing that jumped out to me, it says relationships, not retail, right?
yeah,
So they're not looking for just that one purchase when you come in. They want you to think of that person as being, and they actually empower their employees to make executive decisions at the time of sale, if that's what it takes to make that client happy. And that's something that many, you don't see that in Walmart. So use that type of a mentality, but be prepared. You have to back that up with your actions when you formulate your value proposition. If you're going to give luxury service to everyone from A to Z, you really need to, if you're going to promise that or commit to it, you need to do it.
so I absolutely love that. I've never had anyone, I've been teaching Ignite for 8 years, but the Walmart Nordstrom conversation is very interesting because both of them are successful in their own right. So in terms of value and cost, Walmart is cheaper, Nordstrom's more expensive. But let's talk about something that you just talked about the customer experience with the relationship, because that's where I heard some value being added for everybody's value proposition here. How the customer and client is treated is everything, correct? And so the experience, you might have a great experience at Walmart. They might be friendly, they might greet at the door, but the 2.0 experience that you're supposed to receive at Nordstrom's is more than that. And so you want to fall somewhere between two successful companies, somewhere right here based on your capabilities and what your value is going to be. Grace.
What I was thinking now when he's comparing, I feel that's how I feel, and I think a lot of the new agents feel the same way. I feel like personally, I have to start as a Walmart to get to be a Nordstrom, right? Like I can't just start as a Nordstrom, right? Like why would anybody, like if I'm gonna try to get like a listing, then I have to offer a very low percentage in the beginning, right? Like I cannot go and offer 6%. No, okay.
So this is great. All right, so hold on. I saw a lot of hands raised. I knew we could get you up today. Great job, Grace. Okay, so we're not going to go down this bunny hole because I am known for going down bunny holes. However, I do like some of where you started with that in terms of you got to start somewhere. Okay. But Nordstrom's did not start at Walmart. So think about that. I'm just going to reverse just that statement just for a minute. And we're going to kind of go a little bit deeper about buyers and sellers because this will help. They came out guns blazing as a Nordstrom. That was the experience. And if you want to call that luxury, if you want to call that expensive, whatever word you want to choose, that's how they came out, and they had a value proposition to back it. They had the values, they had their mission, they trained their employees, like they created the plan and then launched it. And whatever was thrown in their way in terms of objections, lower commission, whatever it is, they handled it. And once they learned from that one handling experience, that became their new benchmark of experience. And then they grew from there. Okay. So I don't want to go too deep into there, but yes, I agree, Grace, that everybody starts somewhere. And I'm not gonna go with you fake it till you make it, but at the same time, you can't do the Chicken Little what if, right? You gotta just go out there, have confidence, be you. And this is relationship building. Your value proposition is me, okay? There are a lot of people that maybe wanna use me. Why? My personality, my knowledge, my communication skills. I'm on time. And we're going to get into this actually right on the next slide. And we're going to participate and we're going to break down on your sheets for buyers and sellers, what values, what do they want to see, and understand. Okay. And we're going to cross-reference that. Go ahead, Melissa.
Yes, so I actually just left as an office manager from State Farm. And I worked for State Farm for 5.5 years.
Okay.
Now, part of why you would choose to go with a company like State Farm, it's actually their 100th year anniversary. So they have dumped millions of dollars into their marketing. And that's why you see them everywhere. Sponsorships, every other commercial is State Farm. And what makes State Farm stand out is because their customer service interaction and having their agent do things for them, be there for them, help them through the whole entire process. And how State Farm differentiates themselves from Geico or Progressive, who is pretty much known as a discount insurance, because you can get more affordable insurance through Progressive or Geico. It's because they don't have offices with agents that you can just go in and talk to. You cannot call up your agent and talk to the same person over and over and over again. As an old agent used to say, when you call Progressive or Geico, you're going to get 1-800 guess who. You're never going to get the same person. And that's why when I wanted to transition into real estate, I researched all the brokerages in my area. And I knew the benefit of going with a reputable, well-known, customer-focused brokerage. And I kind of equivocate State Farm and Keller Williams because they're so well-known, but they're well-known because their agents help their customers on a level above and beyond.
I love that. So ironic that we had you on here. We were just talking about insurance and State Farm and things like that. So, you mentioned they try to throw a lot into marketing. They spend all this money, right? Marketing them so that you could see endorsements and people, so that their slogans, actually, it's embedded commands. It's genius in your mind. So you always associate State Farm with this person, State Farm with this person. That's why Geico is the lizard. That's why Dole is the pineapple. Like,
right?
It's all, right? It's all embedded, but you're 100. Thank you so much. And I love hearing that about Keller Williams. Here at Keller Williams as a company, we really are passionate on teaching you. If you're open to learning and you're coachable, everything you could possibly know in order for you to build the best business for you that shows who you are. Like, every team, every individual agent is different. It's the same, but different. And so on this right here with fiduciary and market expert knowledge, my next question actually was, how does being part of Keller Williams family, which you just went into, bolster your personal value proposition? Because being an agent with Keller Williams means that you have access to all of these things. You have access to command, right? Which allows you to streamline the entire real estate transaction. And then it provides seamless experience for both you and your clients. And so you're 100% right. Between the training, the coaching, the accountability, and the camaraderie of helping one another. Thank you so much for choosing our company. And I wish you as much success as possible.
Thank you.
Because it sounds like you're open to hearing it. And so you have to create your customer experience. So as we go through this, we are going to talk about being fiduciary. So being fiduciary for your clients means that you place their best interest above anything else. While serving as a fiduciary, you raise your level of service and the value that you provide to your clients, which exemplifies your value proposition. Meaning, because that was a lot. You have a fiduciary responsibility. Like, this is a legal thing. When you get into forms and documents and contracts within your market center, you are going to see that there is a consumer disclosure, where you are going to disclose that you're a real estate agent and you can help represent them as a seller agent, a buyer agent, a facilitator, and there's a paragraph right under it. And you are responsible for care, obedience, due diligence, market knowledge, market share. And again, we're not going to run down a bunny hole on this one, but you have a lot of fiduciary responsibility. That is a value to an agent. Because if somebody's representing themselves, they really don't know about forms and documents and certain things that they need, like seller's disclosure and all that fun stuff. Kevin.
Muted. There we go. So I just wanted to add to that. I'm sorry. Keep in mind when you're formulating this, something like fiduciary, you might think is, oh, well, everybody does that. Well, yeah, everybody is supposed to do that, but do they say that to their potential clients?
Correct.
Well, if you being the one to present that and say, listen, the decisions and the advice I give is based on what's best for my clients, not for me or my brokerage. If they've never heard that before, it's going to set them back. They don't realize that is something that we all are legally required to do, but we're putting it into our mission or our unique value proposition.
Exactly. And each week for all these sessions, you're going to learn in more detail on how to build that package for yourself. But fiduciary is a huge thing that consumers, they just need to be educated. And you're the agent, and it's your job at that point to educate them that you have a fiduciary responsibility to protect their best interests based on their needs and wants. I love it. So how does being a market expert, do you think, add to your value proposition? Raise your hand, let me know. How do you think being a market expert would add to your value proposition? And this is a big one. This could go for a good 7 minutes.
Yeah, Michael is raising his hand, Jamie.
Michael?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I think a lot of that goes back first to the elevated speech. I mean, if somebody asks you about your local market, you don't know. I mean, you're going to lose credibility right away. So was Keller Williams. I mean, I think and almost anyone that's going to ask you something like that already has some knowledge, and they may just be testing you. So I think a lot of it goes back to that, and then you go from there. If you lose them in the elevator speech, you lost them.
Correct. So how many of you have ever said, so somebody knows that you're a real estate agent, the biggest question that they ask you is what? What is the biggest question that people ask you?
How's the market?
How's the market?
How's the market? How's the market? So if you already know this, all right, and I'm passionate about this, if you already know that people are automatically always going to ask you, how's the market? Or how is the market? It's really 4 words, but how's the market? You should have some knowledge, or you should be able to outscript that person and get more detailed and say, well, it depends. Are you a seller or are you a buyer? So please write that one down. That market expert conversation, by the way, should be tailored in a more defined approach, because now you're asking them a question which allows them permission to engage in a 2-person conversation. Because once somebody asks one question and you answer it with, it's pretty hot right now, and you end it, the conversation is ended. Do you understand that? So spin that, and then not today, because we're going to continue with value proposition, and I'll get to Kevin in a minute, but you want to have your answer a small little answer for both a buyer and a seller, because that is opportunity. It's a 50-50 chance that somebody's asking you that to be polite, and it's a 50-50 chance for that person to be asking you because they're testing you to see how well you will communicate and fit their needs. And if you tapped into something like, well, it depends, are you a buyer or a seller? That opens the conversation. And if they really are truly interested in the here and now, boom, add them to the pipeline. Kevin.
Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, I'm getting the hang of this. An unbelievable
It's not
trainer that many of us know.
MCPT for Kevin. It's a productivity coach, but not the MCPT.
So how's the market?
Yeah.
Standard answer. It's unbelievable. Why do you ask? Right?
Yeah.
Get that conversation going. Actually, Brad Knowles shared that with me like 10 years ago, and I still
Yeah.
remember it. So unbelievable. Why do you ask? One other quick thing is
Yeah.
if you do not already have a search set up for your local area, for
Mhm.
what's active, coming soon, under contract, closed, expired, nothing more embarrassing than being at the grocery store and seeing somebody and they ask you about a house around the corner that you don't have any idea that you know about. So set that up for a daily search if you don't already have one for your local town or whatever your immediate area is. Make sure you do that. That way you can present yourself as the professional.
Yeah, I mean, having your finger on the pulse of the market, that knowledge is what you share with your clients, and you need that in order to help guide them to make their best financial decision. And so you as an agent have that responsibility. So here on the next slide, I love this interaction right now because I want to talk about, and some of you feel more comfortable in the chat, so we'll go with the chat. Currently, if you have worked in the past or you are still part-time and trying to do real estate, what do we have? Who do we have on here? Do we have hairdressers on here? Do we have servers on here? School teachers? What do we have? And Teresa, if you don't mind, just rattling some of those things off.
Sure. I don't have anything yet. However, somebody did ask, can we practice how the market is today? And then I do have some people coming in now that they're retired. Real estate and Lyft and Verizon sales, healthcare, real estate primary rentals,
Okay,
banquet server.
excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question about digging deeper into market, unfortunately, we don't have the time allotted to be able to do that. However, your market center should be running some sort of classes based on market experience. If you Massachusetts or you belong to MLS, they have some running as well. We also have some through the region. So whomever that person was as well, when I put my contact information into the chat, reach out to me privately and I will definitely help you further that conversation. With regards to who we have on the call now, healthcare workers, banquet, things like that. What value, what knowledge, what attitude, what skill set and beliefs do you possess right now in order for you to do the job that you do? Because this is where we're going to start. This is the pen and paper exercise, okay? So currently, for the most part, either everybody has a job or just had a job, and this is the new opportunity for a job, but you have a skill set. Other than effective communication, hopefully, you could be bilingual, okay? But what other skill sets, knowledge, attitudes, beliefs do you have in your current role right now? So take yourself off of mute. You don't even need to raise your hand and just, let's get at it. My healthcare worker, what kind of skill set, knowledge, and beliefs did you have to have in order to effectively stand out in that role?
Passion is
Okay.
a big one.
Yep. What about my banquet director? When you're in, you know, banquet and catering, there's a lot of moving parts there, so.
Being able to act quickly and friendly to people.
Okay, friendly to people, probably go into solution mode very quickly versus staying within the problem, because that's not going to get us anywhere. You have to creatively put 3 tables together for a wedding because these 3 families didn't RSVP, whatever the situation is. So solution mode. So in real estate, what do you think in terms of knowledge, skills, and beliefs would you have to have that would let you or allow you to stand out as a real estate agent?
Jamie, do you mind if I pop in here for a second? We have
Yeah.
David White, okay, that was a National Guard bilingual, former 20 years a school teacher, and his answer is time, dedicate, communication, detailed, and oriented. Then there's some other people coming in with motivation, problem solving, and persistence.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so National
Well, I
Guard.
just wanted to say,
Yep.
to be able to work with other people, because I also work in the healthcare profession, and I have to be able to work with, secretaries, nurses, doctors, and, I do a lot of patient care where I have to, be able to communicate information within, family members. And so to be able to deal with all these aspects of, the, I don't know, patient care, I guess you want to say. I think it's vital, because you have to be able to communicate to the doctors and be able to communicate with some of the secretaries that are that's doing the charts. You have to be able to communicate with the family members that are coming in to take a look at their, the patients. So that's, I think, a good skill to be able to manage many things at the same time. I think with real estate, you have to know how to work with other people, the closers, the appraisal, inspection. So being able to work with variety of different people for the same transaction, that's kind of like how I can put the two together, or those two skills together.
To be honest with you, exactly what you do falls into this category right here of fiduciary responsibility in your role, because you have to care about your patients and communicate effectively. You have obedience and due diligence to your clients and to your company to relay effectively information back and forth, collect information and things, document information. You're going to have to use some sort of technology or computer software in order to do that. All of that, we're just shifting that into real estate. And now your job is to learn how to do CMAs, how to negotiate contracts. All of these things, by the way, are going to be following Define Your Value. Tomorrow, there's a new one. You're going to learn all of these things to do that. But while we build our value proposition, you're going to add some of those things in there. Okay. I think it was the National Guard said bilingual, used to be a school teacher. Okay. And obviously a leader, obviously has leadership skill set there as well. All right. So let's take a look at this right here. So to connect to your value, so far, it's kind of a cheat sheet right now. Some of your value, your market center value, you have access to the collective knowledge and experience of nearly 200,000 agents worldwide. That's true. Fiduciary, you can point to reputable resources to determine the best school district for your kids. You do through MLS, you do through the town's websites. Market expert, I can help you price your home to sell because I am very tuned into the market of the moment. Now, again, the only way you're going to be tuned into the value of the, tuned into the market of the moment is if you yourself are putting a little time into market knowledge and playing with the MLS systems and going to these classes like the shifting market class on Tuesday or whatever you're running in your market center. All right, so have we had any ahas about anything so far? Grace, I think that you raised your hand.
I was gonna say something like when you're going, like you're new and you're going trying to get a new client or a new listing.
Yes.
If I keep telling them for an hour, I am very organized, I know so many people, I am so good with timing, this is not something they're gonna buy, because I can say all these stuff and they're not gonna find out until they really hire me and then figure things out. Then what can I really offer, something they really can see and appreciate? Now, when we're in that slide, like I can help you price your home.
Yes.
What should I give them, like to prove it? Like
Yeah.
right now, at that second when I am like talking to them, like I'm on the phone, I'm face to face, like What can I give them something to prove it?
So Grace, what market center are you?
Salem in New Hampshire.
Perfect. So I think Allison and Mark Kavanaugh
Yes,
are team
yes.
leaders.
Yes,
Amazing. You have two amazing leaders in your market center.
yes.
Honestly, I know that this is a horrible answer, but this is the truth. Once you go through all of these Ignite sessions, that question will become more clear. But right now, and I know it's like when I wanted to be a school teacher and I was going to school and college and all that stuff. And all I wanted to do is be in front of a classroom and like teach. I'm like, when do I get to do my teaching in front of a classroom? And they're like, no, you have to take this class and this gen ed class. I'm like, no, I want to take a class about teaching because I want to get into the classroom. What I didn't realize is, you know, some of these important big rocks that we're talking about, yes, once we define your value proposition today, then you will know how to have a 3 to 5 sentence, potentially 10 quote, I guess, or a saying to put on all of your marketing, your website, stand behind that value of customer service, however you break it down, in order to give permission to have a buyer consultation or a seller consultation. And so this kind of building this is like your foot in the door, because you can always go back to this when there's a situation at hand. And when there's a situation that comes up in real estate, you can always go back to your mission, your values, your beliefs, your unique value proposition, and say, this is what I do. This is how I perform. This is my knowledge. Here's my fiduciary responsibility. Here's my expert knowledge. And I assure you, we will get you the home that you want in the right amount of time. So we're going to dig deeper. It's right here on the slide. And I love your questions and passion, because I know you want to get going on it. For buyers, their goal is to find just the right home at the best price in the right time with the least number of problems. This is really important for you to know. You should be able to rattle these two off. I would take a screenshot of this. I would take a picture with your phone. I would write it down. You need to be very clear about the purpose of real estate. Buyers, they want to obviously go see homes, but they want to find just the right home. They want to do it at the best price that fits their needs and financial thresholds. They want to do it in the time that they want to do it. Fast, slow, 6 months from now, whatever their time is. And they want the least amount of problems. I think that's everybody. Nobody wants hiccups. It's life, but they want it with the least number of problems. And for a seller, their goal, obviously, is to net the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time, again, with the least number of problems. Okay. So as we dig deeper, why didn't it change today? Oh,
Hey, Jamie, there was a question that was just popped up in the chat that they were asking, aren't these value statements? What you were just talking about?
So these are more statements about what the purpose of what a buyer's looking for and what a seller's looking for. So could you turn this in to your value proposition and say, I, as a real estate agent, am going to, with my negotiating skills, I will net you the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time possible. And with my customer experience and my relationships with other professionals in the industry and my source of affiliated contractors and attorneys and lenders, people that might be involved in selling your home, we're going to do that with the least number of problems as possible. Yes, you could probably take some of these words and massage it to define and to create yours. So, as a real estate agent, what are some possible challenges that you can anticipate for your clients? And how do you think that you can prevent or minimize them? So let's give one example. Go ahead, Jason.
I pushed the button by accident. I'm sorry. No, I have an answer.
I was
no.
gonna put you on the hot spot. Say, you gotta have something for me.
So I've been listening to Grace, and a number of the questions that she's been asking is about behind what she's asking, how do I educate?
Mhm.
And I'm learning that the reason why people are asking us how the market's doing and this question and that is because they want to be more educated.
Right.
So they're looking at us as an expert so that we can educate them. And I think one thing that we can do to build value is this is how we come to the value, come to the price, and, really utilizing that, like a really strong listing presentation, strong buyer presentation. This is how, because I think on both sides of the table, buyer or seller, they just want to know, how are you going to do it? I love that you're a problem solver. I love that you're fabulous. I love that you're responsive, but how are you going to do it?
I love it.
Like, what steps do you take?
Exactly.
And can you tell me about that?
So, and I love this group because you guys want to skip very, very fast. So you're going to be working through the buyer presentation and the listing presentation through Ignite. And when you get to those sessions, which I think are next week, or how to work an open house, how to negotiate contracts, when you get into those 4 classes, that's when you'll know how to present all this, how to educate them, what resources you should be using to learn how to educate them. Okay, today, in terms of value proposition, this is a 2.5 hour course in terms of an hour and a half of what is a value proposition and how do I make it unique to my experience that I want people to know that I can bring to the table, even if you don't know the details. See, don't get caught up in, but how do I bring them this market knowledge? I promise you, we're going to teach you that. Right now, we're just trying to craft a statement or a couple of sentences to say, here's my value proposition. Here's an example of my value. So here's an example right here. So if your mission is you provide homeowners top shelf experiences serving their Andover, Massachusetts home buying and selling needs. And value proposition is to have a worry-free transaction. And my target audience might be homeowners who prioritize an easy transaction. All right, so listen to the words that I used on that. Okay, value proposition, pay less to buy and sell your home. That could be a value proposition. Now, the details, though, of these statements, that's what you're going to learn within Ignite. And so you're actually giving me, as a team leader for 8 years, a lot of insight as to maybe defining your value proposition for some people who really want to get into the crux of everything should be towards the middle or the end of Ignite, right? But they build it now because this is your foundational block. And so when you talk about these things in here, the top 10 service areas of buyer value propositions from the MREA agent, I want to share the services that agents provide to buyers that you will cover in more detail in the upcoming sessions of Ignite. And so here is the detail of that buyer value proposition that you guys have been so excited. The needs analysis, pre-qualification or pre-approval, where to find the neighborhood information, how to create a home search for them, navigating through your multiple listing service or sending them neighborhood nurtures through command, how to present and make an offer, negotiate to buy, vendor and affiliate coordination, pre-close preparation. How do I close the transaction? What do I do after the closing? All of those, I promise you, and I will be teaching, I think, open houses, and I'm very passionate about that. All those details will be coming after the value proposition. Here are the top 10 service areas of the seller value proposition, and these come from the MREA, okay, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. This is what's in there. So I'm going to quickly share the services that agents provide to the sellers. And again, you're going to get into the nitty-gritty detail, 2.5 hours of needs analysis for sellers, pricing strategy for sellers, and how to price, how to pull comps, what videos can you watch to do this, property preparation, market strategy, receiving an offer. So not just negotiating, but receiving it, and then negotiating to protect who? The seller, because you have a fiduciary responsibility. The selling process, pre-close preparation, closing, and the post-closing. So over the next 4 slides, since we want a little bit of detail, here are some stats which might excite some of you. That we're going to look at some data from the 2021 report from the National Association of Realtors, or what we call and associate in an acronym as NAR, and what matters most to buyers and sellers when they are hiring an agent. Now, do you think this would be helpful for you to know right now, based on stats and participation from, consumers, this is what they're looking for. And so I probably would look at this and say to yourself, how do I build some of what they're looking for? Because it's not about you. Who's it about? It's about them and their needs. And so looking at what buyers want the most from a realtor, this graph covers the top responses and categorizes everything else as other. So we'll talk about what other is in a minute, but 52% help find the right home to purchase. Now, I was shocked that it's 52% because they want you to help find it. But a lot of us, I think that we think that they're going to find it because they have so many platforms like Zillow and Redfin and just social media, anything social media, okay, and technology. They're always searching 4-bedroom, 2-bath. They're on drip campaigns, but they're hoping that you magically show up and call them and say, I have the property for you. I'm sending it over to you. I think it fits your wants and needs. It's at 123 Main Street in Andover. Let me know if you want to take a look at it. But really, it's a relationship. You're both going to be finding the house of their dreams because you have to work together and you both have roles during this transaction. 13% help buyers negotiate the terms of the sale. That's important to them by 13%. So they really want you to just what? Find the property, find their dream home. Then they think about, okay, well, then I definitely need an agent that can negotiate the terms of the sale at 13%, like at a high level, okay? And then help with the price negotiations. So how do I price my house? Okay, and then we have the other category. So other category can be things like help them with paperwork, determine what comparable homes we're selling for, help determining how much a home buyer can afford. They want a little bit of guidance on that. Now, guidance doesn't mean that you become the what? The lender. That's not your job. Please stay in your lane. It means you introduce them to a really great lender if they don't have one, because you always have a bench of talent of attorneys, lenders, painters, contractors that you pull from. That should be part of your value proposition. Maybe you have a lot of affiliates and you have a book of business of all these categories that a homeowner in the buy side or the sell side need, that as we go through your home on the listing or as we purchase a home, if we need an electrician or a painter, I have the names and contact information that I will share with you that I know have value. They've been used before. They have professional licensings, they're insured, and I will give you that database of information. That's a value. That might not be every buyer agent. Help teach buyers more about neighborhoods or the area, restaurants, park, public transportation. They want to feel like not only are they buying a home, but they're buying a neighborhood, then they're buying a town and a community. And so your knowledge about a little bit of all of these things are important. And as you get into the needs analysis later on in Ignite, you'll realize that when you sit with a buyer and you go over their needs and wants, that is how you're going to define how much knowledge and where you highlight information for them. There's nothing worse on talking about school systems to buyers when they don't have any children, right? So you don't want to talk over people. You want to engage them into some sort of mutual conversation by asking lots of questions, because if you ask questions, then you're really going to come from contribution and be able to help their needs, not your needs.
Tamara?
Okay,
Hello?
all right, so.
Hello?
Oh, hello?
Yeah, I don't have a hand raised option for some reason, just like another gentleman. How are you? This is Daisy.
I'm great.
So one of the things regarding finding the right home, and it's also related to price that I'm encountering a lot because I have a lot of clients from the Boston area. A
Mhm.
lot of them are lower income
Yep.
clients. And I've had a client who because her kids go to the school system, they like the school system that Boston provides. I forgot the name of the program where they transport them to the suburbs, and I forgot the name already. Yeah. So she's been looking for 6 months. So now, she will not go to the closest, urban area. And so it's something that you'll probably potentially might encounter some people in their area, but because Boston is so expensive, I am introducing a lot of my clients to nearby and starting to talk to them about other school systems. But I know how difficult it is. And I think that's one of my biggest challenges. So I do have to sit down and say, okay, they want the right home, and their right home ideally is in Boston. What are really the options?
Yeah.
So, and she wants a multi. And so
Yeah.
I think we're just waiting for the right opportunity. We're hoping that the prices will go down. I know I'm probably one of those weird people that want prices to go down, but
remember with pricing, home sales might be, okay, so interest rate versus the value of the home.
right.
Okay, so all these people right now got low interest rates and they overpaid. So the market's either doing this or this,
Mhm.
or this or this. So when is the right time to buy?
Now.
Now. It's now. It's always now. It's always now. Okay. And so I promise you, when you get into the needs analysis on the buyer presentation and working with buyers, that sheet that's in there is going to help you define and really kind of corral in this potential buyer, where all the questions that are on there, ask them every single question, to be honest with you, and that will help tailor where you should be spending your time in terms of their search. Okay. And
Thank you. That makes sense. A lot of
I
sense.
promise you
To focus back on their needs.
Yes, that needs analysis sheet, 2 pages. You're asking your buyers what they want. Okay. And so are they wants or needs? Because I want this, but I need that. I need 3 bedrooms myself, and I have a boy and I have a girl. I need 3 bedrooms. I want 4, but we find them one with 3. Did we fit their needs? Yes. Did we fit their wants? No, but they want something in this price range. Did we fit that? Yes, yes. See, so you're going to learn that, I promise, on the buyers and on the needs analysis. So as we talk about, other than what buyers want most from their agent, as we move forward, we are going to talk about, keep in mind that these are the results, the most important factor in choosing a real estate agent. These were the top answers from buyers when choosing a real estate agent. And so 20% agent is honest and trustworthy. Thank goodness that that's what it is. We still live in a world where we want people to be authentically honest and trustworthy. The agent experience, it's right there at 19%, so it's 2020. So to go back to the beginning of these conversations this morning, the Nordstrom experience, the Walmart experience, this experience, the customer experience is everything, and how you treat people and make them feel comfortable is why they also want to work with you. And it's telling you that. So when you rebuild this value proposition of a few sentences, maybe we want to talk about the buyer experience, or your experience as a client will ... Okay, we're going to get to that in a minute. The reputation of the agent. By the way, the reputation of the agent, not only is it within the industry, once you become an entrepreneurial person in anything that you do, your social media reputation is important. And so what you're posting on social media, even on your personal sites and things like that, I'd like you to just consider what you're putting out there, because as you start working with younger millennials, those that are between 20 and 35 who are looking for a house right now, things like that, you know, they are going to be looking at your TikTok accounts, your Instagram, your this, your that. And that's how they're determining stuff. So this is going to change. This might say 2021, but as the reputation of the agent, I bet we start to see social media on there, because that's where we've gone the last 3 years. Okay, so other is 44%. And so what do you think could be other?
I think the knowledge, like if you're referred, I think your experience.
Ooh, so
Because all my clients are referrals, all of them, and that's why they chose me.
okay, so if you're referred by somebody, that you were the right referral, yes, I love that. An agent is a friend or a family member, right? Your knowledge of a neighborhood, that's probably going to fall into other. Are you a good listener? Is your voicemail full? I don't like that. Guys, here's a side note. Google Voice, it's free. It can connect to your actual cell phone number that you have today. Watch a YouTube video on it. Go talk to your MCTT in your market center about it. But get a Google Voice number. No one needs to know what the number is. Have it point to your cell phone number. And so your cell phone number will automatically pick up the free Google Voice messaging service that's free. And your voicemail will never be full. Not only will it never be full, but you get an awesome email that says from Google Voice, Teresa tried to call me, and it tries to scribe out what you said, which not always works out that great. It's kind of like Siri, but it saves it in your email if you choose to save your messages. So there's nothing worse from an agent professional point of view, or from a buyer or a client or a seller, even a friend or a family having a voicemail that's full. Active in the local community. Agents association with a particular firm is less than 1%. Why? Because they're associating with you first. And I know that somebody said earlier, if you don't do a great job, then you don't look great and the company doesn't look great. Yes, that's with anything, but we here at Keller Williams teach you that you're going to run your business under our umbrella. So we're the umbrella right here. And all of these agents and teams have created businesses. We're the Amazon Prime. Actually, we're like the YMCA. You pay $100 at the YMCA. And when you pay $100, they're like, we have a beautiful pool, we have open swim, we have aerobics classes, we have basketball courts. I don't want to use any of that. I just want to work out on the equipment. I know that, but we have the showers, we have locker rooms. Nope, I still just want to use the treadmill. I know, but for $100, you're going to get all of this. So once I'm bought in $100 a month to use this treadmill, I use the treadmill. I start to go at the same time. I start to meet people. And then somebody says, oh, you should totally try a yoga class. Now what am I using? The yoga class. And then I meet somebody and they say, hey, we should do this, and I'm using this. That is command. That is Keller Williams. We have everything that you absolutely need, but not all at once yet. We are going to teach you how to use all of these things when you're ready to use them. That is part of the value proposition. We are exposed to international. We have over 40 worldwide market centers, international. Referrals are so easy within a Keller Williams system here, because all market centers are pretty much run the same or similar. It's like a Starbucks. You could be on vacation in the Bahamas. You're going to pay $12 for your pumpkin latte. So the price will be different, but the ingredients are the same and the experience is supposed to be the same. Okay, so if you resonate with any of these factors, considering including all of them or some of them into your value proposition. So we're going to practice taking attributes and putting them into client-centered language so that hopefully we can craft a mini value proposition together that you can all work on later. So select one of the factors on the buyer value and try to rephrase in the language that explains its value to the buyer. For example, an agent is honest and trustworthy could sound like, you can depend on me to help you make the best decision, or I will work to serve you in your best interests. Do you want me to read that one again? All right, I'm going to read this one again. So if you want to add into your value proposition something about the value of being honest and trustworthy, you could potentially word it with one of these two options. You can depend on me to help you make the best decisions. Or you could say, I will work to serve your best interests. So let's take maybe the agent experience. What do you think that we could say about you when you're trying to create an experience for a buyer? How do you think that you would word this? Or what words would you like to add into? Let's do that. What words would you throw into a customer experience? Friendly, valuable, valuable.
Genuine.
Efficient,
What is it?
efficient,
Efficient. What
Genuine.
else? Genuine.
Someone from the
Somebody-
chat said good communication.
Somebody with great communication.
Streamlined process.
Ooh, streamline process. Seamless. We want things to be seamless. We really want to, as best as possible, we want to mainstream communication. So
Yeah.
we've
Another
already
one was dedicated.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Sorry.
Teresa. No, it's
So
okay.
sorry. Another one was dedicated until the end, no matter how long it takes. And that, which is good.
Excellent. So
Remember too, so,
Go ahead.
remember that most of the buyers, according to the MREA, wanted problems or potential problems eliminated. So there's also that presentation of maybe you can minimize or eliminate risk wherever possible.
Now, these are statements that you stand behind. Right now, don't get caught up in the details of how can I do what Kevin just said, though. Again, I promise you throughout this whole Ignite sessions, all of them, you'll learn how to do that. And so you can help depend on me to help you do this. My customer experience is this. My attention to detail, my communication style, my connections, my influences. So you want to start writing some of these words down, because at the end of the day, we're going to include the sellers right now, because again, sellers are looking for something similar but different. And then we're going to finish off in the next 20 minutes with some samples that I will give you. And then you are going to take what's best work for you and craft the best value proposition. And by the way, does your value proposition evolve? Everyone should be saying yes.
Yeah.
Because if it's not evolving, it's stopped. And so you're going to be learning new things, adding new products to your business, different styles. So it's always going to, the crafting is always going to be evolving. I mean, we had, what was I just going to say? Okay, so our mission, let's talk about Keller Williams, right? So our mission was to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, and lives worth living. That's what it was. In the last few years, they have also added experiences worth giving and legacies worth leaving. Think about how powerful that is. The three alone, here, our mission at Keller Williams is to build careers worth having, teach and aid you basically to create businesses worth owning, balanced with lives worth living, while experiences worth giving, and essentially a legacy worth leaving to someone else, is pretty powerful, and it evolved. So when we talk about sellers and what they want most from their agent, their top responses are help price the home competitively, 21%. They want you to help the seller market, the home to potential buyers. Okay, so 20%. So what are you doing for marketing? And to be honest, when you start learning how powerful our command platform is, there's so many things that is within our platform that can help you create marketing material that's already been pre-templated, or if you're creative, you can manipulate it however you want. And then it shows you how you should be getting that out. Social media, email, handwritten notes, things like that. Door knocking, calling neighbors, depending on what you feel comfortable with. Help sell the home within a specific time frame. Yeah, when sellers are ready to sell, they're out. They've cognitively made their mind up because of a reason. I need to live in Alabama because my grandchild was born in April and we're moving down south. So we're downsizing, selling, and we want to be there by September 1st. They usually have a time that they want. They also really want a price, but is it time or money? Those are always going to be the two considerations. Is it really the time or the money? Well, I really want the most value for my home, but I really need to be here in this amount of time. And that will be part of your negotiations class. Help seller find ways to fix up the home to sell it for more. By the way, don't get too caught up on that one. If you want to play HGTV and Design Star and all that fun stuff, go do that. That's great. But make sure that you remember that they're hiring you as a real estate agent. And that's why I talk about having a bench of talent and of affiliates. And what I mean by that is have a friend that does staging. And if your client wants a little bit of staging advice, maybe utilize that person. If you want to just give a couple of examples saying, you know, if this was my house, I'd probably do just a little bit of stuff here, that probably would get you the most for your property. If you wanted to advance that, make everything Benjamin Moore, Revere Pewter, paint the whole house because you have a different color everywhere. You got to be careful in staying in your lane on why they're reaching out to you. And so just be careful on that one. And then the other. So other would be help find a buyer for their home. So that's pretty cool. If you had a buyer that's looking for something that meets these special wants and needs, and the price is right and the timing is right. Listen, our job is to be relationship builders, but we're also trying to bring two people together for a happy transaction. That's our job. Our job isn't to make decisions for our buyers or for our sellers. It's to communicate what the seller is asking, what the buyer is asking, make a happy marriage and close it out. And so if you can do that by finding a buyer, that would be ideal. Help with paperwork inspections and preparing for settlement. We do that currently. Help sellers see homes available to purchase. Big missed opportunity. I'm sure Teresa and Kevin can both say huge opportunities missed, that when we're working with either a buyer or seller, we're not asking the opposite question of, do you have anything to sell, Mr. Buyer? Or on the seller, where are you looking to buy? I'd like to help you get there. And so most agents, they're too late to the game because they're only helping them in one area. But you'll learn that hopefully through your productivity coaches and things like that. Okay, so when asked the most important factor in choosing a real estate agent, here was the top 3 answers from the sellers. Reputation of the agent, again, that goes both ways, social media and within the industry. Agent is honest and trustworthy. So look what flipped on buyers and sellers. Agent is friends or a family member, 17%. Who you stay in touch with matters. You can't be a secret agent. Most people want to help and support, like I told you, people that they know. And so is it better that the agent is a friend or a family member? Sometimes, but this is an emotional transaction that happens. And sometimes it's best not to have a family member because it's too emotional to the seller. And so that is something that you will combat during Ignite, and you will also probably have classes within your market center on objection handlers, on when that family member says, you know what, cuz I'm sorry I didn't use you, I decided to use Teresa, and then how you work that through. And so that other mark is 44%. So the agent's knowledge of the neighborhood is 11%. Agent has caring personality and is a good listener, 5%. Agent's commission, 4%. Agent's association with a particular firm, 4%. Agent seems 100% accessible because of use of technology like tablets and smartphones and professional designations held by the agent, 3%. And other would be 5%. Do we have any questions about this slide? Okay, so let's take a look at the top responses from sellers considering when choosing an agent. So if you're a new agent, you're probably wondering if you'll be at a disadvantage because you are still in the early stages of building your reputation as a real estate expert. We just heard some of you express that a minute ago. However, what we do here at Keller Williams is we're encouraging you to lean on the powerhouse reputation of KW branding and the affiliates as you get started. For example, you can tell friends, family, potential clients that KW has the strongest reputation in our market for helping people with their real estate needs in the fastest time frame with the least number of problems. But you have to memorize that. So that could be considered a script. But when you learn a script, your job is to memorize it, then internalize it, and then customize it. So imagine if you're in a listing presentation, instead of you being so nervous that this is your first listing and why choose you, if you just go out there and rock it out and you're like, so KW has the strongest reputation in our market for helping people with their real estate needs in the fastest time frame and with the least number of problems. My value proposition to both you, Mr. and Mrs. Jamie Camerata, is this. Once you've done those 2 things, again, that has allowed you permission to move forward in the quote details of what you're going to be learning the next 3 weeks. So now that we've looked at the trends of what's important for the buyers and sellers and what the differences of their needs are, why do you think that those differences exist? Why do you think there's differences between buyers and sellers' needs? Why do you think it's so different on maybe the reputation of an agent over here versus communication? The real answer is because every need is different, right? So if we go back to the statement that I told you to write down about buyers and sellers, about, remember, for a buyer, their goal is to find just the right home at the right price in the right amount of time with the least number of problems. And for the seller, their goal is to net the most in the shortest amount of time with the least number of problems. And so what their needs are when they're looking for a real estate agent, sometimes they're going to be different. And so these are the cheat sheets of when you're building value in order to have a general value proposition that applies to both buyers and sellers, and then know when to tweak it, right? So everything should be general: reputation, honesty, integrity, things like that. But the other stuff, you can tailor and detail into that when the consumer asks that question. Some of you said, well, when they talk about market expertise and market knowledge, and they say, well, what do you know about the market? That's when you're going to know about the market. You're going to tell, well, on the buy side, this is where we're at on the market. Today, this is what it looks like. On the seller side of the market, this is what it looks like. Here's how many homes are on the market for sale. Here's how many are under agreement. Here's how many are within your price range. Here's how many days they're staying on market. Here's your competition coming down the pike. What would you like to do about it? Okay, your job is to educate and communicate with them. Now, KW has a lot of technology. And so how many of you have already played within the KW command platform? It's not scary. If you choose to use it, it can be extremely powerful. You're going to have to use the command platform for at least opportunities when, not if, but when you get something under agreement. In order for you to get paid on time, you have to create an opportunity so that your market center administrator knows, yay, Jamie Camerata has a listing that's under agreement, or Jamie Camerata has a buyer and she finally got under agreement at 123 Main Street and it's closing on this day. And that is her job to look to make sure, okay, now that I know that that's coming down the pike, I want to help Jamie. I want to make sure that I check in into her files in her DocuSign or Dotloop, depending on what you're using, hopefully DocuSign, and see, okay, she has all these forms here. She's missing this one. I should send her an email saying, hey, Jamie, everything looks really great, but you're missing the electronic signature form. Can you get that one signed up? Because we want to pay you on time. Okay. So Keller Williams is committing to adding to your value proposition in today's market, meaning investing in technology that actually propels your business forward. So being at KW means that essentially that you need to start building your brand, nurturing relationships, and that we are available as a leadership team to help you get to that point. So here are a few of the features that Command provide for you and your clients. And I'm just going to touch upon this. Tech, and help me, Teresa and Kevin, I think it's Tech Tuesdays now, not Tech Thursdays. But technology is taught in our region. So if it's not taught in your market center currently, here's a couple of suggestions. Number one, Tech Tuesdays, I believe at 2 o'clock with Brooke, who is our regional tech trainer. She does an hour and breaks down things each week. Number two, YouTube is everybody's favorite. There's a lot of people on YouTube, Scott Leroy Marketing, Nick Baldwin. Those are two names I could throw out that, that have a lot of YouTube videos start to finish on how to enter a contact. How to use smart plans, which I'm going to talk about. So smart plans actually track your contacts and leads with customized intelligence, and it builds deeper and more meaningful relationships with your sphere by creating an email and a follow-up plan, and then a text message, and then an email that you can either grab out of Marketplace for free, or you can create your own. So we actually have the platform to help you stay in business and in contact subconsciously, I guess, kind of like a constant contact or like a MailChimp with your clients. We have a KW app. And so you have a consumer app that's used by power of artificial intelligence, machine learning, for you to communicate, provide transaction transparency, and remind clients of your value once you've closed on the home, because it's designed for you. Keller Williams also gives you your personal website. For you to design your own website, unless you are in web designing, would cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. But here we incorporate technology into your agent sites, which allow your contacts to save searches for homes. It's very interactive. It creates searches on behalf of your contacts and clients once they fill out a little bit of information. And so we start with our sphere. So how do you think that you could incorporate technology into your value proposition? What do you think that would sound? What would you think that would sound like? And it can't sound like I'm very tech savvy. What does that mean?
Yes, we could say we have the infrastructure of technology to help support you through the home buying process or selling.
Ooh, I love that. That's a great one. Jason?
I stole this from Kevin because I was reading his lips. He said, and really, we leverage technology to reach a broader audience to get more eyeballs on your listing.
Okay.
Thanks, Kevin.
Definitely saves time. It's convenient for the clients and allows us to leverage.
Correct. It's a leverage piece. You can't do everything. We want to control everything, but we can't. We do have to leverage what works that's better than what I can give. Technology is a leverage point. And so what if we wrote something like, with my innovative technology, I meet you where you are. We can handle most of the transaction through your phone or laptop. It's all about convenience for you.
I think from both the buyer and seller's perspective, they're both looking, everyone's looking to simplify. And
Yes.
if you could incorporate, both sides want to make, they're hiring us as an agent to represent their interests, to make the process more simple. And so you could kind of, if you could incorporate technology into, it simplifies the process, streamlines it, makes it easier for them, makes everything go faster and more efficient.
Faster, streamline, efficient. That's what I heard you say.
Yes.
That's what we all want. Just think about it. Forget about real estate. If I can't get those three things at this Starbucks, what am I already doing?
Right.
Some of us are already looking at a different Starbucks to see if we can order it faster because we want it faster, because we want to go. We're moving in such a direction for most of us.
Exactly.
You're only going to know that. And I stress this with the seller needs analysis and the buyer needs analysis. Get to know your buyers and sellers' way of communicating. Ask them if they use technology. And if they say yes, what does that look like? Other than texting with your kids or this, do you use any platforms? What's your favorite app? Do you prefer email, phone call, or text to get in touch with you? Everyone is different. It might not be the way that you do things, but you got to meet them halfway. And that's where the miscommunication will happen, especially with technology, because not everybody is technology advanced. But what did COVID do? COVID forced us, to be honest, for everybody to use technology through a QR code. You couldn't sit at a restaurant with a mask on and plastic around you, which I can't even believe just happened in the last 3 years, but it did. And you were forced to take your phone, scan something, open it up, and read it to communicate what you wanted. QR codes are amazing for open houses. You're going to learn this. Why? Here's my pretty flyer about my house. It looks so nice. Okay, what if I posted that around the home and the QR code went to my landing page, which you'll understand a landing page is a one-page place. Think of Macy's.com. Macy's.com is the landing page. At Macy's.com, it has hyperlinks, men's, women, furnishing, housekeeping, whatever. It has boxes to bring you to somewhere else. At KW, for free, you get to create a landing page. So if a QR code at my open house brings that potential buyer to my landing page that has a picture of the current home that they're in, little description box, and a lead capturing box at the bottom that says name, contact information, email, and you use that as your sign-in process, and everybody who comes in needs to scan your QR code, which everybody is capable of doing at this point. Now you already have their contact in your what? Database. How do you know that? Because if they filled it out and they hit submit, you get a text message. Boom, Jamie Camerata has been added to your database. Technology can work for you and help you minimize a lot of dual things that you need to do in this business to mainstream the process to be so much smoother if you choose to use it. Okay, so let's get really into crafting for the next 15 minutes or so, some value proposition statements, because like I said at the beginning, I really want you to leave with something of meat and value so that you feel confident that as you start to continue to as you continue to go through Ignite, by the end, I really hope that you're thinking about this day saying, oof, on defining your value proposition on that Thursday, it all makes sense. I need to start by opening this up, and now I've learned all this value to be able to do that. So there are 3 steps to defining the value proposition, okay? So number 1, we need to identify right there your knowledge, attitudes, skills, and beliefs that make you qualified to be a great real estate agent. Within that, we want to be able to transform the value that you provide and the value of KW and your market center into the benefits for your clients. Because remember, it's not just about you. Leverage, leverage, leverage. KW Market Center, technology, what your market center provides. Maybe here at my KW, I want that Nordstrom experience. We'll go back to that gentleman. And everybody that is welcomed gets a customized KW water bottle. And if they want a coffee, it goes into a KW branded cup, and it's an espresso coffee. It's not from the coffee machine. And only the clients that come in get offered the Nespresso coffee. Then they get asked who they're meeting. They get walked into a room that has the same scent as the scent throughout my entire market center, so that it's a happy experience and it's a nice scent. We have the video playing behind the front desk about Keller Williams technology, or about Keller Williams in general. There are people in the market center, so there's activity. So we've created that experience for them. And then we're going to continue to build the statements. So what knowledge do I bring to this job? These are some questions that you're going to ask yourself. Again, this is in the participation guide. So within the participation guide, that's maybe 15 pages. It's within that you can start thinking about how you're going to identify the knowledges and things that resonate and that are meaningful to you to be able to pass on to your clients. And it must align, again, somebody said it earlier, it has to align with who you are and what are your true abilities. Don't take somebody else's if that doesn't work for you. If you're not going to create that experience, don't lie to the customer. Honesty, honesty, honesty. So as you break it down, you want to start thinking about what knowledge do you bring to the job? Perhaps you have a degree in accounting or law or financing, or you've worked construction and you've had great knowledge about homes, home buildings, codes, etc. That could be something. What attitudes do you actually bring to the job? Commitment, honesty, integrity. We mentioned some of them earlier. What skills do you offer? Perhaps you are a tech whiz and that you're wicked excited about the technology and that you're able to help others learn and teach technology. You've got great negotiating or problem solving skills. You've worked in an environment of 40 kids. You were a school teacher during COVID. If you were a school teacher during COVID, I feel like that could add a lot of value. What beliefs do I offer? So that's a big one. What beliefs do you offer? All right, so the chart in your participation guide allows you to write some of these words down, attributes and knowledge and tasks and things like that. And so for the sake of time, again, this goes to 11:30, but some of the words that we used, what are some of the words that you think you're going to put into your value proposition that speak to you? What words have you heard, or what words have you put down in the participation guide as to your attributes, your knowledge, your beliefs that you can start circling, because we've mentioned a lot of them, but let's keep mentioning some more, because all of that is going to be in the creation of your value proposition. Do we have any more? All right. Well, now we're going to transform it. So your value statement expresses the value you provide in the language that makes it relevant to your clients, that you can stand by. So think through how your knowledge, your attitudes, skills, beliefs, so those four, can be beneficial to your client. And many of your life experiences can be relevant to real estate. So if you don't see it, look at it from another angle. Even if you haven't articulated it to yourself, you have already used your experience to help others in whatever profession you've already been in. So we mentioned that somebody was a school teacher, okay? So you have an experience of obviously helping others. You did your personal experience. How did your personal experience make it helpful for now and in the future? So as a school teacher, your job is to teach the children or students that have never heard of it, aid the students in the middle that are starting to get it, and challenge the students that already got it a long time ago, all within the same time and space. And that is very hard to do. And your job as a real estate agent is to do the same thing with your clients, because typically you will have two sets of adults, okay? One adult. You might just have one adult buying, and they're both going to have different wants and needs. And you're going to have to tailor yourself. And you can't say I'm bilingual if you're not bilingual. So don't put that in there. Okay. But if you say something about, you know, for example, we have 38 different languages here at my Keller Williams in Andover. Shocking, but there are 38 different languages spoken amongst my roster. So I might bring that, it's a knowledge piece. I don't know if I'd put it in my value proposition, but I could say that my relationships and my market center here, we are very diverse with 38 different languages spoken. And if English isn't your primary source of speaking and communication, please let me know, because I have this over here. All right, what other words are we going to be adding into this, do you think? Think about the value that you get from your market center. Maybe let's spin it a little bit. Maybe that can be beneficial to your clients. What value do you believe, or what do you think that you receive from KW or your market center that could be beneficial to your clients other than technology?
I've read somewhere that Keller Williams is considered one of the world's happiest companies. So I think happiness conveys a level of competence, you know, and positivity, and you know, you can maybe build on that.
I love it. So I will say, as a team leader, my job is to educate. My number one job is to go to the office, recruit, and then obviously coach the top 20%. And I do, and not because I'm a team leader and not because I work here, but so many conversations I have had with other agents for opportunities to just share with them just a little bit about what Keller Williams could provide to them. They, at least 50% of the time, they say that they're not happy where they are at. Now, it's not just about where they're at in their business. They actually mean like they're not happy at their company or the environment. You know, during COVID, it became very political at some of these companies where people were talking about, you know, vaccination, not to vaccinate. That's a heated conversation, believe it or not. And so when you start bringing some of those conversations into a market center or into any brokerage, that could affect certain people. Election years could affect certain people, things like that. Diversity. If we're not comfortable and confident about having diverse conversations, our company does a great job with inclusion and having all these classes about diversity and programs and clubs and committees. so that we can have conversations and talk through things like that. So I feel as though that those are value propositions. We're a very diverse company. And yes, thank you. We are very happy. And so you have 2 charts in your participation guide. The first chart is related to the value that you provide. And then the second chart is related to the value that you receive from your market center. I challenge you to do this activity and go through some of these things of value so that as you circle these important words, that you too can try to throw them into your actual value proposition or statement. Okay, so technically we should be doing this individually, and I can give you about 5 or 10 minutes for you to do so and we can share. But the strongest value proposition for your clients, please remember, it will combine the value that you offer, backed by the value offered by KW in your market center. And it's not about perfection. Your value will most likely change, like I said, as you learn new skill sets and gain more experiences as an agent. So don't get caught up in that detail when you start to go into that market expertise or fiduciary responsibility. Stick with the things that maybe you feel confident and comfortable. I'm honest, I'm trustworthy. You know, being on time is very important to me. 10 minutes early is on time. My military background, my leadership background, my teaching background, I'm a chef, my creativity. Those words is how you're going to build statements so that essentially we put this together. So why don't we do this? Why don't we come back at 11:05? So I will give you 7 minutes. We'll come back in 7 minutes. I want you to work on a value proposition statement, just a couple of words or a couple of sentences put together. Let's help each other through them. I want 3 people to share, and then we will jump into the lead generating portion and some of the scripts that I promised you that I would teach you to make phone calls today so that you can add 10 people to your database by having purposeful conversations. Okay. All right.
Jamie, do you mind if I ask something that I said that I would circle back around for an
Yeah.
agent?
Yes.
The question in the chat box was, what happens when you ask about everything that they want, like as a buyer, and they tell you there's not much out there?
So say that one again.
Yeah, so what happens when you ask about like what everything wants for who's a buyer, and they tell you there isn't much out there, so not many listings out there. So they're asking, what do you say to them?
Again, when you do the needs analysis and the buyer presentation, it's the wants and needs. I would redirect them and tell them to circle back to when we first met, we discussed that they that you had some wants and needs based on this buying process. And so the needs are essential. So when we talk about needs, again, if you have a boy and a girl, they need to be in different bedrooms after the age of 6 in Massachusetts, right? So you need at least 2 bedrooms for them. And maybe you're going to sleep in one of them. I don't know what your financial situation is, or you need 3 bedrooms. So that's a need. And if I want 4, I want an in-law, I want this. Money does everything. Buy a property that's big enough, and you might be able not to have the in-law today, but the basement has potential that later on you could probably take out a loan and build an in-law. So right now, yes, inventory is funky. And if the buyer can't hone in on their needs and there's still too many things that they want, ideally, then honestly, it's not the right time for them to buy, because they shouldn't be forced into something if there's not enough inventory. I would redirect them also into, what neighborhoods do you love? Why are you moving? I would get a little bit into the pain and pleasure of the needs analysis, which you'll learn with the questions, to kind of get them stuck and get them more open to maybe another town next door, or spending a little bit more money, or whatever that possibility is. But yes, sometimes the inventory isn't there. And you as the real estate agent, based on if I know enough information and you want to be in the Sanborn School District, okay, well, I work for you, so I'll send a bunch of flyers to these neighborhoods saying that I have a buyer that potentially wants to buy in your neighborhood, please give me a call. Or I'm going to ask the buyer to make 15 handwritten cards about their personal story and encourage them to not put it in their mailbox, but to tape it to the front of a mailbox to let a potential seller know a authentic story from a buyer who potentially wants to buy, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
I think also it's important to know that we will deep dive into that during the buyer consultation as well.
I know, I love it. I almost wish I could teach the buyer consultation, but I love the passion and the energy of the participants on the call right now, because I know that, again, because I was where you were. Everybody starts somewhere. We talked about that Walmart, Nordstrom. We all start somewhere. And so I know that you're excited to learn all of this stuff. The biggest thing I can say is you're never going to know everything. I learn things new each week, whether it's in my role in real estate, paperwork's changed, database change, whatever it is. So you're never going to know everything. You have an amazing networking of coaches, mentors, your agent leadership council, top agents in the market center that you could go to when you have questions and you don't know the answers. And the most truthful, honest answer to anybody is, hey, Teresa, that's a great question. I'm going to get back with you in 15 minutes with the answer, or I'm going to research that answer for you. Let me get some more feedback. Let me get some more knowledge about that. You know what? I think I know the answer. Let me confirm with the town. I want to make sure I give you the right answer. People appreciate authenticity. Nobody likes to be kind of bullshitted. Like they don't. And by the way, you don't want to be doing that in a fiduciary responsibility transaction. You want to make sure you have your facts. And so make it positive. Great question. And I want to get you that answer. And let me do a little bit more research and get that answer for you. All right, so I'm going to ask everybody to come back. Jason, I'm going to call on you in 1 minute so that we can start sharing. So we have 25 minutes left. If you could just keep focused for those 25 minutes, I would greatly appreciate it. I know it's hard on Zoom, but you guys are doing a great job. Jason.
Oh, mine's for you, Jamie. Is there any way that you could plug us into your buy, like, if you do like a buyer presentation, like a role play session? I'd love to plug in. Probably not today, but offline, because I love the thing that you said about the taping to the mailbox, and it kind of is in line with something that I'm trying to do. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so as soon as we're done, I'm going to put my information in the chat. So oh, I'm under KW New England. That's why I was like, my name's on the box. No, it's not. My name's Jamie Camerata. I'll spell it all out. I'll give you guys my personal information. And again, I love Keller Williams. Every market center wants to help other agents. I don't care if you're from the greater Portland, if you're from Rhode Island, if you're from Springfield. If you want to jump in on any type of training that we have hybrid, you want to drive here, you want to jump on our Zoom calls, we're all totally fine with that, because sometimes a market center isn't running something specific that you're looking for that another market center is. So again, if I could add that to you, we have an app in our office. It's called KW Success. Everything is mainstreamed. It's free. Download it. All of our training is on there along with the Zoom link, or it will say in person. So if that's easy and accessible for all of you, then I encourage you to do that if you want. Okay, so this is the interactive role play part. So what sentences have we created? Where do we need help? What have we created? Let's just get a couple on here. We got it. We got to do one or two. You can
So
do
I'll throw one in here. I've always loved this term, and anybody's free to use it, change it, whatever you like to suit your needs. I utilize industry-leading technology and training to deliver responsive communication to my clients.
Say
That's
that.
just one.
I love it. Say it again.
I utilize industry-leading technology and training to deliver responsive communication to my clients.
Awesome.
There's one piece right there.
One
If
piece.
you want to borrow it, take it.
I
right?
love it. It's one piece. It integrated technology, communication, knowledge. There's a lot that went into that statement. What we're challenging you, remember, less words are better. And the person that wins the conversation is the person that asks the questions. And so that was a great one. Thank you for sharing that. What about one more or two more? Come on, we got to work on this. I promise you that you have to, this is where you have to lead. When somebody says, why should I hire you? What are you going to say? Why should I hire you?
And remember too, that you have your market center stats you can pull from, and
Mhm.
whether you are a certain ranking in the area or you have a certain amount of market share. For our office, one I like to throw out is our company closed, we helped over 4,700 clients last year realize their dream of home ownership or selling. So how can you utilize something from your office? And if you don't know the stats, by all means, the language of real estate's typically available through your market center meetings.
Kevin, can you say that again, your proposition?
That I utilize industry-leading technology and training to deliver responsive communication to my clients. I'll type it in the chat.
Ooh, Kevin, I was just going to say that. I was going to say, Kevin, start typing, then open up your chat and take a picture of it. So all you're doing is you're just keep asking yourself, why would they hire me? My energy, my communication skills, my knowledge of the market, our technology platforms. Our technology platforms allow consumers to participate on both the seller side and buy side. I can create a personalized landing page for your property address to ensure that we collect any potential buyer information as soon as they walk through the door. And again, this will go into your buyer presentation. Here's the listing sheet that we will create for your property. I will leave you a sample. Check out this QR code. It actually goes to this landing page, 123 Main Street, which is your property. I could make one for them. I could get aggressive and think I'm going to get the listing and just make a listing sheet for them and say, check it out, that's your property. And now when you enter that, that's one way that we're going to make sure that we stay organized and connected to potential buyers that came to see your property because they came out for a reason. Everybody comes to an open house for a reason.
I think,
So, go ahead.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, Michael.
I think the value statement you might write down for yourself is different than what you might say to somebody. You know, you don't want to be telling someone I'm honest, I'm hardworking. You know, they want to get that from your experience from dealing with you. I focused on the honesty part, just focusing on you know, being an agent. You know, I would say to someone, as an agent, my first responsibility is to represent your interests. You know, any commission that I get is secondary to a fiduciary responsibility to you. I mean, that sort of conveys upfront, you know, how you're going to deal with the transaction.
Exactly. And so Daisy, hi Daisy. So Daisy, I'm a huge problem solver and great manager for my previous career working in government, but I still feel I'm doing a lot of problem solving and managing in the process of helping my buyers. Now Daisy happens to be in my market center and she's one of our top agents. And this is a perfect example to say this mastermind mini series Ignite program is for all levels of learning. Maybe she got into the industry so quickly that she didn't fine tune her value proposition because there's nothing worse than missed opportunity. Missed opportunity comes when you don't know what to say.
Right. In the beginning of my career, I used the fact that I was in government. I'm trustworthy and I communicate well, problem solver. So just this idea of evolving, I'm now ready to change that a little bit more now after 8-9 years. But I think that all these new people, I mean, I would love and I would trust a teacher big time with my transaction. So everyone who comes, from other careers, use those skills. It's just amazing. I love everyone and what they're doing. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. Use your skills. Your skills might not be what my best skills and practices are. And, when this isn't done in this type of environment and you run these programs to your market center, accountability partners, guys, it's huge. And so I know that through the success system that you guys have been going through, they talk about accountability partners and being able to talk to somebody in your market center, show your value proposition or what you're trying to craft with your productivity coach, your market center tech trainer, an ALC member, team leader, assistant team leader, somebody that just got in the industry, but pick someone to read a couple of the sentences that you're trying to create that lets somebody know why they would hire you. And are they all going to be similar? Yes, because I would hope that most people are trustworthy, can effectively communicate, have some sort of knowledge. But are there people that don't effectively communicate and don't really have any knowledge about this and are not trustworthy and still sell real estate? Unfortunately, yes. Are they at Keller Williams? I hope they are not. But yes. And so it's who you are, guys. It's character. It's who your character is and what you bring to the table. And you're here for a reason. For some reason, you thought whatever you have inside of you, other than drive and passion, you should be here. Now it's your job to explain to a buyer and seller and potential client why to hire you. Okay. All right. I just want to talk a little bit for the last 15 minutes about lead generating, give you guys some ideas. Usually in a classroom setting, you take the next 45 minutes by making phone calls to do the 20 minutes a day role play conversations with a partner, 10 minutes preparing a call list for the day, role play with somebody, and updating your database. Traditionally, you want to add 10 people into your quote pipeline, 10 conversations, new conversations that you've had about real estate. Okay, about real estate. And so at the beginning, somebody mentioned something about a post in terms of like lending and mortgages. Okay, your job, if you're nervous, this is the best advice I can give. If you're nervous still at this stage to just jump in with that conversation, then this is what I want you to do. I challenge you to make 10 phone calls. Well, actually, I want you to make as many phone calls as it takes to connect to 10 people today. Okay. There's no slide dial. There's no hiding. No one's coming for you. I'm coming for you. I'm not even your team leader. Okay. I don't know how many calls it's going to take for 10 people to answer the phone, but once 10 people answer the phone, here are some of the ideas that I want you to have a conversation about. Okay. So, I'll play with, Kevin. We'll do a little role play here. Okay. So, all right, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Kevin, it's Jamie.
Hi, Jamie. How are you?
I'm great. Did I catch you at a bad time?
No, I'm good. I'm sitting on break right now. What's going on?
Awesome. All right. Well, I just need 3 minutes of your time. So I probably have already told you this, so I apologize. But, this year I joined a real estate company. I got my real estate license. I'm affiliated with Keller Williams. I have some business goals for myself. And so I've been challenged. So if you're scared to have this conversation, you can say this. I've been challenged to call 10 people that I feel comfortable with to reintroduce the concept or the fact that I got my real estate license and ask, who do you know that's potentially looking to buy or sell, invest, or rent in real estate? Now, Kevin's going to say no one. So Kevin say
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say, wow, that's exciting. Wow, with the real estate market, what it is. I don't know of anybody right now, but I'll certainly keep that in mind.
Okay, So the help and support conversation. All right. See that conversation. Oh my God, that's so great. They complimented me. But then what did they say? They said, I don't know. They shut it down. I don't know. And I'm like, I got to know. I want to hang up the phone. I don't want to do it again. I want to hide. Why did I start this in the first place? All this stuff's going through your head. Okay. I want you to retailor the conversation. And when I do ring with Kevin and say, did I catch you at a bad time? I'm going to say to Kevin, hey, listen, I just need 3 minutes. I really need your help and support. Now, Kevin's going to say, sure. What do you need? Okay. The need is help is immediate, is it not? I need help, right? SOS, it's right now. I need help right now. So I need your help. Who do you know that's looking to buy, sell, invest, or rent in real estate? I didn't say, do you know anyone? Because if I said, do you know anyone? He's going to give me 2 words, yes or no. So I said, who do you know? So Kevin, who do you know?
Well, I can't think of anybody right now, but I'll think, and if I can think of anybody, I'll get back with you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
No, I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I also said that I need your support.
Yeah. Well, what do you need?
Perfect. So one way you could support me in my business, with my business goals is, now this is where everybody on the screen, it's different for everybody. Okay. So if I feel comfortable with Kevin, I'm going to say, one way that you could support me is I'm going to text over like a little blurb. Would you mind throwing that blurb on Facebook and tagging me? That would be really great. That could support my business. Kevin, yeah, sure, no problem. What does the blurb say? The blurb basically says something about me and my relationship with Kevin. Okay, so it says, hey, hey everybody, or a public service announcement. One of my great friends, Jamie Camerata, is a rock star real estate agent up in the Andovers. If you're ever looking for someone to buy or sell, invest and rent, hands down, amazing, loyal, communicative, blah, 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 give her a shout out or message me for more details. And then she tagged me. So when she tags me, where does it go? Goes on my page, correct? Goes on his page, but it wasn't me throwing up all the time. Give me somebody, give me somebody, give me somebody. I'm leveraging Kevin and others to do it for me. What I'm really doing is asking for their support. So Kevin really wants to help me, but he can't help me right now. It feels bad. But if I help push him into where he could really support me and I just tell him exactly what that looks like, he wants to do it because he likes me. He appreciates me. He respects me, whatever. Okay. Does that make sense? So other than direct real estate, your job is being creative. It's getting the word out there. It kind of is a little bit of marketing. It's a little bit of this, but leverage, leverage, leverage. So I challenge you to make 10 connects. That could be 25 phone calls. I talk to 10 people, have that conversation about help and support. And you never know. You could get one of them that says, listen, I'm not, but my neighbors had a garage sale this Saturday and they were just throwing all this stuff out. You might want to call them. Great. What's their number? When you get that, then text me, email me, call Kevin, call Teresa, talk to your PC, talk to your team leader. When you get the fish on the line, even though I don't know what to do with the fish, we're going to teach you, because at our company, we're teaching you how to fish. We're giving you the supplies on what to use. And in every different scenario, big fish, little fish, small fish, commercial fish, residential, condo, this, that, we're going to help you through it. Does that make sense? So today, other than crafting your value proposition to know why hire me and what you really bring to the table, you should have that. The second thing we talked about today is you should have an answer when somebody says to you, how's the market? You can dodge that by saying, it depends. Are you a buyer or a seller? Or you could use what Kevin said, which I can't remember, but
It's unbelievable.
why do you ask? Brad Knowles, the Brad Knowles. It's
Right.
so unbelievable.
Good
Why you
market, bad market, doesn't matter. It will be an automatic answer for you.
I love it. I love it. And then the third thing is you're committed to making as many calls. Here's another thing, guys, not texts. I don't want texts today. I really do want the calls. I want you to call people. I know it might not be, it's so uncustom, like my kids, they're in the same room. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm asking Charlie if he wants to go shoot lacrosse. He's in the living room. Go talk to him. And he's like, nah, I can just text him. And I'm like, no. People want to be heard from. There's a purpose. People are we're connectors. We weren't made to wear masks, everybody. That's why there was like a disconnect for a little bit, a little bump in our universe, because we weren't made to wear that. So I challenge you to do that, and then to, talk to your team leader or whoever and let them know how those results were. So that being said, we have 8 minutes for any questions, ahas. Did something inspire you today? What did you get out of today? What would you like to share? Let's go around, and I'd like to hear from 3 people. So it's the special 3 before we can actually officially end a call, and then go implement.
I just have a question. I think Kevin brought it up earlier. You did as well. Why people would much rather call random strangers than people, in their family and friends. I'm the same way. I mean, you feel a little bit uncomfortable. A lot of people have called so far, like, yeah, I just saw that on your Facebook. Why you call me 5 days later? Why is that? I don't really know, but why is that they would rather call random strangers? I'd call 100 people out of the phone book. I wouldn't think twice about it. But
I mean, to be honest with you, everyone can have their opinion. I believe that people don't want to look stupid. And I think that when it comes to friends and family, they're your closest people, that you don't want them to take this as a joke. All right, this is like a mental mindset thing, but stop thinking for other people. Okay, stop thinking for other people. And who cares what people think? But we do. We're creatures that for some reason we care more about that, where if you could just shift that mindset a little bit, maybe today's the day that you call somebody that really needed the call and was like, oh my God, Jason, you got your real estate license. Thank God. You're not going to believe what's happening right now. Boom. So I think people are afraid because they want all this knowledge. They want to know like everything, so that when that family or close friend says, oh yeah, well, do you have anything that's 15 acres, buildable lot in Salem, New Hampshire? I can check for you. Can I get back to you in 2 hours? I'll run a quick search. I'll let you know everything that came on the market that's new. Now you hang up the phone, and what happens? What the hell? Who? What? Somebody help me. I don't know how to run a search. I don't know how to run MLS. I don't know. I don't want to look stupid. It's okay. There's so many people 9 to 5 in your market center. And even nights and weekends, depending on your market center, there are people available to talk to. So that's what I think, Michael. And I'd like for people to switch that mindset and think, you know what? Maybe today's the call that they needed. And they really do want to support you. They might not be able to help you today. All right, what else? What else did we get? Are we fired up? Are we excited? Where are we at? Where are we at?
Well, I decided to steal Kevin's his why you hire, why you hire it. So I just kind of put both of them together, and I really like I really like it. So I just put it as: I utilize industry leading technology and training to deliver responsive communication to my clients. And when you hire me, your needs will always come first when advising you throughout the process. So thank you. I've stolen it from you.
So we don't steal here. We borrow, we add one word. What did we do in our college papers? That sounds great. If I just put a punctuation here and add an and there, Shakespeare didn't say that, I did.
Right. Thanks, Kevin.
Well, thanks, Kevin. So yes, build upon what other people are doing. Search it, okay? Google it. Value proposition real estate agent. I don't want you to work at this like it's an assignment that it's so god awful that you're like, I can't do it. Make a list of all of the qualities that you are as a person. Great communicator, honest, I have integrity. I was a school teacher, so I'm very organized. I'm a restaurant owner. I'm entrepreneurial. I live in the town. I work in the town. I grew up in the town. Whatever it is. Okay, that's your value proposition. That's why they want to hire you. Yes, Jason.
Thank you for an awesome session. I just want to say, I really had a good time. I really had a fun time. It made me like look thinking about the pie charts. It made me think about. I mean, I've been selling for a long time, and so I'm new to real estate. But I never get asked the question, "Are you new to real estate?" And a lot of times, I think that people they hear the confidence, they can feel that exuded. But I think also we kind of know what they're going to ask before they do. So when I think about the pie chart, I think about, okay, how can I frame what I present to answer the question so that when I ask, do you have any questions? My favorite response when I ask at the end of a presentation is, do you have any questions? Is no, you answered them all. And I mean, I think I've done my job if that's the case, right? So I feel like, one thing I got from today's session is like, you know what questions can I answer in my value proposition? And I'm going to go back and do some rewriting and really play with this.
Yeah.
But what questions can I answer in the value proposition so that when I ask the question, do you have any? They'll say, no, you answer them all.
Right. So that's the perfectionist side of you.
It is. It's a Virgo.
It's okay. So that's the perfectionist side of you. And yet people will throw you off because you've done such a great view that for the disorganized person, it was too much. See, this is what I love about people and learning. You have to mirror and match your people, or you're going to potentially lose their interest on either using you, hiring you, whatever it is. All right. So that's a big one. People skills, mirror and matching. But something that you said, and I'll end with this if you don't mind. How many of you can relate to, you go into a restaurant, because it can't be just me. You go into a restaurant, you have a feeling, you have a sense, you have a consent, you feel the restaurant. You either want to be there, it feels good, or you don't want to be there. Maybe there's not enough people sitting in, it's 7 o'clock, why is this place so empty? But you have a feeling. And when you sit down at the table, how long it takes your waitress to come over and how she presents herself determines how your meal is going to end up going. Does it not? It does. If you have someone like me coming over to your table, that's one personality. And some people love it and some people don't. And I'm okay with that because I have confidence, because it's a job and I'm there to help and serve. And then you have people that don't have that are nervous. They're so afraid to even ask for your order. They're so in the weeds in their head. They're like, I don't even want to be here. And it shows. Okay. Your job is to believe in yourself that you have already spent money getting your real estate license. You went to school. You took time away from your family. Maybe that was a payment for a car, or you had to rob Peter to pay Paul, and finances are great, but you're believing that you want this for yourself. You need to start there and own it and participate at a high level. Download the student participant guide. If you haven't done this yet, start today. Okay. I don't know how we are co-editing your whiteboard, Mary, but that's weird. So I'll just leave that there. But you need to